My name is Rem, and I am a mum of 3 daughters. One of the legal issues that I've experienced recently was that my daughter, she was experiencing bullying at school, and she had a physical altercation, and the other students' parents wanted to press charges against her. She was issued with a caution. The main barriers that I faced were financial, and also the language, understanding the terminology and the jargon that they use. It's so stressful. I would jump on to Google and I would basically just research, ring whatever organisations that I felt would actually help in those legal areas. If you're going to get someone who is committed to your fight or to your cause, I think that's great. But if you're going to get someone who doesn't really have the same commitment to their job in order to help you, I think, no, you're not going to get that help.
My name's Ruby Sidoritis. I'm 20. And I had some issues with my past employer. I had a carpentry apprenticeship, and they weren't giving me pay slips. And at the time, because it was my first real job, I didn't really know anything about it. I remember having to ask my boss, "Hey, can I have a pay slip?" And he was kind of like, "We don't really do that." And I was thinking, am I wrong? I felt embarrassed, and I remember leaving feeling really defeated, to be honest. Young Worker Centre came down to my school a few weeks later, and then I straight away got onto that and said, "Hey, I've actually got a big issue here." And they were really great. They emailed me. He basically just said, "I'm really sorry this has happened," and reassured me that I was in the right. It's been a few years now. I've definitely moved on. I'm still a bit sad that I didn't finish my apprenticeship, but yeah, I do feel satisfied.
My husband passed away 6 months ago, and it's been an absolute nightmare. To start off with, my husband took out an $18,000 loan, and I had a very big problem how I was going to pay that back since it was coming out of my bank account. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what's going to happen. I came here to the Whittlesea Community House, and they've suggested that I get a solicitor. And that solved very quickly last week, which was wonderful. Instead of the $9,800 we owed, it came down to $3,000. That sort of help I didn't know was available. I consider myself very lucky to have had the knowledge they were able to give me.
Ray Osmond. I'm 76 years of age. I've got an 11-year-old daughter. And I got a problem with the pullman, which I've just had experience with. I spoke to this chap, Phil, on the phone. He said, "Yeah, we can check that out for you." And I said, "Could I tell me the cost?" He said, "Oh, it's $169 something, and then $79 for the registration certificate." He come down, had a look, and the next thing I get a bill for $501. And I've asked, "Please explain," and they give me a detailed account of different bits and pieces on the internet. One, I'm out of money, so it's a little bit stressful. I'm going to have to hopefully get a loan and pay the pullman.
When my daughter was diagnosed with biliary atresia in the Royal Children's Hospital, waiting on the liver, and when she got transplanted, I was supposed to vote. And I wasn't able to because I didn't receive a mail saying I had to vote. I didn't find out about I had to vote until 2019. That's when, by then, the fines had accumulated to $448 for not voting. It really upset me because I was thinking, being a single parent on the carer's pension, I was having trouble even to afford her medicines even. I turned to the internet, I wrote to the Ombudsman, and they said to contact Fines Victoria as well and put in a complaint, and if they refused it, for me to contact them again. I came to the Whittlesea Community House. I was telling them about the problems I had with Fines Victoria, and they organised me to speak to a lawyer, and they were able to resolve it all for me, which was fantastic. So I'm very satisfied.